Okay, so we are going to be having a look at our session for today. So today we are going to be looking at conditionals, but this is going to be spread over the next two classes. So this one and then the one next Monday as well. So there are quite a few conditionals, and it helps to split them into two sections to make it easier to understand. So we're looking at conditionals today. This is actually our sixth session of our grammar clinics, and they will be happening every Monday throughout the year. So please do join if you want to improve your grammar. So we're looking at conditionals today. This is our first session on conditionals. So by the end of the lesson, we are going to have a look at these three things. We're going to look at the different types of conditionals. We are going to look at how we can make those sentences. And we are going to think about when we should use the different types of conditionals. Okay, so we've got a lot to learn today. So let's look at what is coming up. So we're going to begin by looking at the zero conditional. And then we will look at the first conditional. And then we will think about what is similar between them, what is different between them, and then in what situations we use them. So let's just take one step back and look at the zero conditional sentence. So zero conditional here is if you stay in the rain, you get wet. Okay. So that is different from the first conditional, where we have something like, if I have enough money, I will go on a safari trip next week. So they are both conditional sentences. They are similar in how they are produced, but they have a very big difference in meaning. Okay. So let's just think about, oh yeah, hello,
Zero,
yeah.
yeah, zero, it's about always true, and
Hmm.
first, it's about nearly future, yeah.
Okay. You're pretty much correct on that one. Yeah, that's a good idea. That's good. All right. Um, but for now, let's just have a look at what conditional sentences are in general. Okay. So they are usually made up of two parts. Okay. They are usually made up of an if part. So this normally comes at the start of a sentence, and it usually begins with if. Okay. And then normally a comma comes after it, and then the second part is called the main clause. Okay. So we have the if clause, and then we have the main clause after. So this usually, the if part shows an action, okay? And then the main clause tells us the result of that action. Okay. All right. So that is basically, that is what is the same for all conditionals. The ones that we will look at today and the ones that we'll look at next week, they all follow that same pattern. Okay. So we said that normally the if clause comes before the main clause, but sometimes you change it around and it goes afterwards. Okay. So if we go back here, if you stay in the rain, comma, you get wet. But we can then change it around. So we could say you get wet if you stay in the rain. So if we have the if part first, we need a comma. But if the if part is second, we don't need a comma. Okay?
How can I recognize it when we need comma, or when we don't need comma?
That is a very good question. Well, if the if part of the sentence is the first part, then you put a comma.
Ah, yeah, we need to recognize where main part, yeah.
Yeah.
If main part first, we don't
Mm,
need comma.
yeah. So if the if part is first, you put a comma. If the if part is in the second part of the sentence, there is no comma. Okay. So if it was the other way around, like you get wet if, and then the rest of the sentence, you don't need any comma in that one. Okay. But if the if part is the first part in the sentence, you do need a comma. Okay. All right. So the idea is that with conditionals, either of the parts can be the first part. So it is correct to say if you stay in the rain, you get wet. It's also possible to say you get wet if you stay in the rain. You can say, if I have enough money, I'll go on a safari trip next summer. It is also possible to say, I'll go on a safari trip next summer if I have enough money. Okay.
Yeah.
So both parts of the sentence can be used either at the start or at the end. And it doesn't matter. All you need to remember is the comma. Okay. So the if clause can come before or after the main one. If it's at the beginning of the sentence, we use a comma after the if part. If the main part is first, no comma is necessary. Okay, so we'll look at examples of this later on. Okay,
We need
so
check all everything if
mhm.
become first um, time we need use comma. Yeah.
Yeah, if is the first word and that if part is at the start, you need a comma. If it's not,
Mm-hmm,
then no comma.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Okay.
All right, good question there, Evgen. Excellent. So we're looking at zero conditional. So you've already told me a bit about this. You said it's for things that are always true. Yeah?
Yeah. Always true. Facts. Habits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So facts, so things that are always true, some truths, which are always true, it's in the name, and then also habits, personal habits for you. Okay. Like if I drink coffee, I feel energetic.
Mm-hmm.
That would be
Yeah.
a good example of a zero conditional sentence. Okay. So if it's raining and you stay outside in the rain, you get wet. Yeah. If
Yeah.
rain is falling from the sky and you are outside, you get wet. So this is just a fact, a truth about life. So the if part here is first in the sentence, so we need a comma.
Yeah.
Okay? If it was the other way, you get wet if you stay in the rain, you need no comma.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course.
All right. So the if part needs if plus present simple. So if you stay, if I stay, if she stays, if he stays, if it stays, if we stay, if you stay, if they stay. Okay. In the other part of the sentence, you need present simple as well. You get wet, he gets wet, she gets wet, etc.
Yeah.
Okay. So if plus
Right.
present simple, and then a comma, and then present simple. Um, if you make your sentence the other way, you see there is no comma. You get wet if you stay in the rain.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay. All right. So the when if is first, you use a comma. If is second, there is no comma.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay. Right. So that's zero conditional. Facts, truths, and habits. If plus present simple, present simple. Okay. So let's have a little practice with this then. So there it is again on the screen. If plus present simple, present
Yeah.
simple. So we have some sentences here which we need to make from these words. Okay, so for example, we have water reach 100 degrees, it boil. If we make a full sentence, it should be if water reaches 100 degrees centigrade, it boils. All right. Um, right. So what do you think about this second one then, Yevgen?
And by your brother crying. Um, if my brother be hungry, my brother cry. He's cry. I don't hear
Oh
you.
yeah, sorry. If it is present simple, just remember if it is he, she, or it, you need to put s on the end of the verbs. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So here it is my baby brother cries if he is hungry. Okay. So if he is hungry, my baby brother cries. My baby brother cries if he is hungry. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, what about the third one here?
Uh, if you do exercise,
Yeah.
or if you finish the exercise, you feel better.
Okay. Yeah, something like that. If you exercise or after you exercise, you feel better. Yeah. Good.
If you exercise, this phrase mean you finish exercise, yeah.
Um, I mean, it can be after exercise or it can be during. You know,
Uh-huh.
when you're lifting some weight, sometimes you feel like, yeah, you know, I feel like a macho man or something like that. Okay. So before or after or during, yeah. Okay. Now, what about the next one? But just be careful, it is with some negatives.
If we don't not if rain oh, uh, if rain not come,
Hmm.
uh, plants not grow.
Okay. So what you need here is when you're making those negatives, try to use them with do. So if it doesn't rain, plants don't grow. Okay. So when we make these into negative, like if it rains, if it doesn't rain, plants grow, plants don't grow. Okay. So you need to remember that for the next one as well. Okay, so again, we have some negative ones. So if it is students, it would be doesn't. If it is they, it is don't. Oh, sorry, if it's students, it's don't. If it's they, don't as well.
If the students mm, don't pay attention,
Hmm.
they don't understand the topic.
Okay, very good. If the students don't pay attention, they don't understand the topic. Very good. And the last one.
He doesn't get up early if he arrived late to school. From uh, ah,
Uh,
no. Mm, if he arrived late to school, he
mm,
doesn't get up early.
um, I think the other part needs to be first. Like if and then get up early.
If he get up early,
So just remember it's
he
negative though. If he,
doesn't uh, get up early,
hmm
he arrived late to school.
okay, he arrives late to school.
Arrived, arrived.
Arrives, arrives with S on the end. Yeah. Okay. All right. So that is the zero conditional there. That is how we make those sentences. Okay. So, like we see here, this is a fact. Okay. This is a habit. This is a habit as well. This one is a fact, and then a habit, and then another habit here. Okay. All right. So anything that is scientific or a fact, anything like that, then you can use zero conditional for it. But now it is better to move on now to first conditional. Okay, so first conditional has some similarities, but also some differences as well. So first conditional, now very different because it looks at the future and it talks about something that is real or likely or possible in the future. Okay? So an example sentence here, if I have enough money, I will go on a safari trip next summer. Okay? So it is possible I will have enough money, and that is what will happen if I have that money. Okay, so we have the if part at the start of the sentence. So that means we have the comma in the middle. Okay, and the way we make it is we need to have if plus present simple, but the second part needs to be future simple, which is will plus the base form of the verb. Okay, so the verb with no change in it.
Yeah.
Okay, so like you see here, if plus have, so present simple, I will, and then go with no change. Okay, and then if we change the order of the sentence, the if part is second, so there is no comma here. Okay,
Yeah.
so this part goes to the start and this part goes to the end. Okay, so that is the first conditional, real or likely or possible in the future. If plus present simple, future simple. Okay,
Okay.
so let's try to make some sentences for this part. So again, that is our formula at the top, and we need to make sentences from these prompts on the screen. Okay, so for the first one, if we take it slow, so if plus it, and then present simple of rain is rains, comma, we, and then remember future simple is will plus base form. So we will. So we need stay with no change. And then we have inside afterwards. Okay. So if it rains, we will stay inside. Is that correct? Yes, it is. Well done. Okay. All right. So what do you think about this second one here?
If you study harder, you will pass the exam.
Very good. Very good. Okay, so that's all correct there. What about the next one?
Hello,
Okay, what about the next one?
hello, hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hello,
Okay.
do
Ye-
you hear me?
Hello, yeah, I can hear you. What do you think about this next one?
Okay. There are sometimes we start if they arrived on time, we will start the meeting.
So did you say arrived? Because we need present simple here.
Okay. If they arrive
Mm-hmm.
on time,
Mm-hmm.
we will start the meeting.
Perfect. If they arrive on time, we will start the meeting. Good. All right. So what about this next sentence here?
If she helps me, I will finish the project faster.
All right. If she helps me, I will finish the project faster. Good. The next one.
If we leave now, we will catch the bus.
If we leave now, we will catch the bus. Good, good, good. And the last one, just be careful, it is a negative one.
If you don't wear jacket, you will get cold.
If you don't wear a jacket, you will get cold. Okay, so well done there. We created all of those correctly there. Okay, so now we've looked at zero and first, let's try to make it really clear what the differences are between them. Okay, so zero, we said, is about scientific facts, general truths, laws of nature, habits, things like that. Whereas first conditional is about real situations that are possible or likely to happen in the future. Okay, so that is the big dividing line between the two conditionals. Okay, so
Hello,
we hello. So now
hello.
now we
Oh,
want now we have one final activity where some of them are going to be zero conditional and some of them are going to be first conditional. You just need to decide which one is which and then complete the sentence. Okay.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. If if water uh, reach
Mm-hmm.
reach
So if it if
in
it's if it's present simple, it needs to be reaches.
reaches.
Mm-hmm.
If water uh, reaches, I need to translate for a moment.
Mm-hmm. Reaches 100 degrees.
Uh-huh. If water reaches 100 degrees, it boil.
It boils. Yeah. So it's present
Boil.
simple, so it needs
Yeah.
S on the end. Yeah. If water reaches 100 degrees, it boils. Okay, good. All right, what about this next one? Now, just be careful because it says tomorrow, so that should help you with the correct conditional.
If uh, rain will be tomorrow, if we cancel the picnic if it rain will be tomorrow.
Okay, so which conditional is this, Yevgen?
Mm, First,
It is first conditional, yeah. So if it's first conditional, it needs to be if plus present simple will plus the base form. Okay. Okay, so we have if in the first part of the sentence here. So it
if
needs to be
it
if plus present
rain,
simple. If it
if it
rains,
rain,
rains, so
rain,
you need S at the end, yeah. And then in the second part,
we will cancel
we will
the picnic.
cancel. Yeah, we'll cancel the picnic. Very good. All right. So what about this next one? So you need to think, is it um, zero or is it first conditional?
It's zero.
Mm-hmm.
Plants die if
Yeah,
they don't get enough sunlight.
perfect. Very good. Very good. So that's a zero conditional there, a fact. Okay, good. All right. This next one. Next
So
one.
if
Okay.
you had ice,
Mm-hmm.
it will melt.
Okay. So you think this is first conditional, yeah?
Maybe it's 0, yeah.
Okay. It is 0, yeah.
Fact, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Fact.
Mm-hmm.
But
So,
we can use 2 times. I think if had ice, it
mm-hmm.
will melt. We can
Okay.
use also, yeah.
Yeah, if you plan to do it in the future. Yeah. Okay. So it could be possible, but you're right. It is more of a fact in this situation, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So if it is a 0 conditional, then what should it be? If you heat ice,
It melt.
it melts with an S, yeah. It melts. Good. Good. Okay. So what about this next one here? So you should think about what conditional it is and then try to make the sentence.
If she uh, it doesn't hurry,
Mm-hmm.
she will miss the bus.
Okay. If she doesn't hurry, she will miss the bus. Good. Good. Okay. Excellent work there. All right. Um, so that is obviously a first conditional kind of possibility in the future. Yeah. But what
It's
about this next?
0 next.
Is the next one is 0? Yes. Very good. Very good.
To mix red and blue,
Hmm.
you get purple. You get
You
purple.
do. Very good. Very good. So this is a fact, a scientific fact. Good. Okay. And this next one.
If I see Sarah later, I will tell her the news.
Perfect. Okay. So this is first conditional. Good. Okay.
Metal expand. One moment.
Hmm.
Translated. Uh, metal expanded. Expand.
Hmm.
Uh, expands. Yeah.
Expands. Good. Yeah.
If it be headed. Headed.
If it is heated.
Will.
Yeah. If it is heated.
Ah. Yeah.
Okay, so this is talking about a fact. So this is 0 conditional. Yeah. Normally, if you heat metal, it gets bigger. Okay, so it needs to be if plus present simple, present simple. Metal expands if it is heated. Good. And then the last one. Which conditional is it, the last one?
So, it's first.
It is first. Good.
If we don't go to bed early,
Hmm.
we will uh, to, we will tired tomorrow, or we will feel we
We will
feel
feel. Okay.
tired.
So we just need will and the verb in its basic form. Yeah. We will feel tired tomorrow. Okay. So well done there. Good work there. So first of all, we need to think which conditional it is, 0 or first, and only then can we start to use the correct form. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll leave it there for now. So that was 0 and first conditional. Next Monday, we will have a look at the other conditionals, second and third, and then we will see how different they are and what the different situations are. So if there is any feedback from the lesson today, you can fill in this form here. And if you would like an extra activity on 0 on first conditional, you can scan that QR code as well. And if you do ever need any other support from the English support department, you can contact us on the email that is on the screen there.
Okay.